Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's video is the final installment in a 5-part series designed to help you dominate DC Dark Legion from the start. Today we're going to be doing a deep dive on the game's economy, so we're going to be talking about how to earn gems, we're going to be talking about the daily and weekly stores in the game, we'll spend some time talking about Interstellar Visitor, we're also going to do a little bit of a whale or fail, we'll talk about some of the best packs to buy in the game if you're a spender, and we'll close the video out by talking a little bit about the source gem pack. So let's jump right in and have a little bit of a discussion on gem revenue. So the first way that you're going to earn gems in the game is going to be through completing missions. And you will find as a new player, particularly for free-to-play players, this matters. You're going to earn a ton of gems to start out, and then that gem revenue is going to start tapering off unless you do certain things with your account to improve it over time. And I've covered a lot of those things that you need to be working on and focusing on in some of my prior videos, so definitely give the entire series a chance from the start. And if you've been following along, you've probably already taken some note of these things. But the first way that you're really going to kickstart your account and start earning gems is through story missions. So if we jump into here, you can see that they sort of divide everything out to your main missions, your side missions, and then you have your daily missions. Now those main missions and side missions typically are going to revolve around upgrading your war room, upgrading your bat cave, doing some of the world map exercises, and also completing some of your SON. So, doing your anti-crime network and training simulator and basically just progressing in any of the game's game modes is probably going to give you some of the mission rewards here. And you might think that 5 gems here and 5 gems there is not a lot, but it does add up over time. And again, especially for new players, you're going to be earning a decent amount of these rather quickly. So that's definitely the first way that you're going to be earning gems. Now you do get a few rewards for your daily missions. And I will say here that, these daily missions are mostly important for your monitor's legacy, but you definitely don't want to miss out on the rewards you get from your daily missions. It's a really big part of how you're going to grow your account over time. So the next big way that you're going to push your account forward and earn gems is through the Supreme Commander event. Now, really, there's a couple of ways to think about Supreme Commander. A lot of people, myself included, want to push our account as fast as possible and min-max it, which means that we're constantly doing upgrades and making changes and trying to improve various pieces of our base and trying to push all the different game modes. But this Supreme Commander event has sort of thrown a wrinkle in things for this game. There are and we'll jump in and I can show you kind of how it operates. But you want to be careful not to just immediately spend your world anvil fragments, or you want to be careful not to immediately upgrade every single hero in your collection in terms of star promotions and things like that. You want to be careful about your armory and your chips, so your research lab, because if you're just constantly upgrading those, you're going to miss out on the days where those things are going to reward you with gems and magic eyes through Supreme Commander. So if we take a look at mine, and there's basically 5 tiers. So Supreme Commander typically starts on Mondays in the United States, and it goes for 5 days. So the first day is your intel gathering, and you're going to primarily get rewards for spending your anti-crime network. I believe you can spend drones on this day. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong there. And you'll also, pretty much every day of the event, if you spend World Anvil fragments, you're going to get points for that. So that's definitely one of those where you can kind of spend them anytime you want to during the event. But there are some days, like the day that I think it's the 3rd day, base expansion, it's kind of difficult to earn points here because you don't get a ton of points for your armory, crafting gear, or doing your tech research. So, you want to be a little bit strategic about which days you're spending certain resources. And maybe I can do more of a deep dive specific to Supreme Commander and how to be efficient in it in a different video, but due to time constraints, I'm probably going to not spend as much time here. I think the thing that I want to emphasize the most is, and we can use today's stage for this, if you look through here, you can see 10, 20, 30, 40, 60, and those build on each other. So you're getting, every tier that you go up in that stage stage, you're going to get additional gems for it. So you're getting a few hundred gems a day for completing your rewards. And more importantly, you're getting magic eyes. So there are 3 rounds to each stage of Supreme Commander, and each one of those you can earn a certain amount of magic eyes and a certain amount of gems. So if you can kind of stomach hoarding resources and spending them only one day out of the week, it's going to help you a lot. Now, in some cases, even I can't resist spending a few World Anvil fragments or doing other things with my account to try to push it forward. But in general, I'm trying to make sure that I'm maxing out as many rewards as I can get out of this Supreme Commander each week. And that is going to allow me to purchase more things in the Interstellar Visitor and also to purchase more items in some of the stores that we'll talk about today. The next thing that we will talk about in terms of accruing additional gems is the SON network. So there's several things in here that you can do to earn gems. A lot of these are not going to be, you're not going to get a lot of gems from each one of these events or items individually, but they're incremental. They're, I guess taken together, you actually get a considerable amount of gems. So we'll just start from the top. Meta Brawl is going to give you a few gems each day. So you're going to get daily rewards every 24 hours. When Meta Brawl resets, you're going to be getting a certain amount of gems based on the ranking that you're in. So right now I'm in Master Group, so I'm getting 60 gems per day. And then you're also going to get promotion rewards. These are a one-time reward for each time you promote up a rank. So when you start out in the game, you're going to be in Challenger Group, and fairly quickly you'll be able to run up the ranks. So you're going to get that 120, 200, 300. And then once you have a well-developed roster, you should be able to get into Master Group and compete there, and you'll be able to get 400 gems for just getting to Master Group. A lot of us who are light spenders or non-spenders are probably going to be able to get into Master Group, but as more people join the game with Global Launch, you're probably going to start getting pushed back to Elite Group. So I think the goal is to try to get into Master Group once, get those 400 gems, and then you may fall back to Elite, which I think is around 50 gems a day. So it's still not an insignificant amount of rewards. And then the other thing is you're going to get these daily challenge quests. And the great thing about these daily challenge quests is you don't have to win your matches in order to get these gems. So you're going to get 25 gems a day for doing nothing. It doesn't matter which tier you're in. You're going to be getting a certain amount of gems. You're going to get a certain amount of Meta Brawl tokens just for playing the event. So it's definitely worth doing even if you're losing all of your matches. The next way to earn gems is going to be through your training simulator. Now, for this mode, there's a couple of ways that you'll get gems. For the most part, you're going to be earning the Mother Box cubes for clearing every 10 levels. You're going to get 2 blue Mother Box cubes. You're also going to get the green Mother Box cubes for clearing specific, each individual level in the primary training simulator. But you will also, every time someone completes a new milestone, I believe it's right here. So these are first clear milestones. So basically every 30 levels, if someone clears that, it doesn't have to be you. Everyone in the server is going to get 30 gems. So this is, and I'll scroll through here so you can see, but this is on server 204. It's been open since, I believe, December 27th, so a couple of months. And we've got a few people who've made some significant progress. So we're up to level 1020 now. But that's a lot of gems that you're going to get just for free by virtue of whales doing well on your server. The other thing, and a lot of people don't know about this, but if you go into your Realm of Fate, which is something that we'll probably cover in a later video, is kind of just a deep dive on Training Simulator. But every day at reset, you're going to get 5 gems from this little chest. Again, it's not a lot, but it's something, and you should always be coming in here to check that off the list when you're doing your dailies. The next way that you're going to earn gems in the SON network is through Combat Cycle, and we're definitely going to be doing some deep dive videos on Combat Cycle once Global Launch hits, probably in the March to early April timeframe. So be on the lookout for those. I'm planning on making a different video for each day of Combat Cycle, because it's going to require different champions to do well in each day of the event. But one day a week, basically each day, you're going to get different rewards from your combat cycle. So, today, the day of this video at least, or filming of it, you're going to be able to get Mother Box cubes. So you can get the green and blue mother box cubes for beating Dawnbreaker. You're going to have a day where you're going to get your gems, obviously, and that's typically around the Friday to Saturday time frame, like over the weekend. Basically, right before Interstellar Visitor hits, you'll have an opportunity to push in combat cycle and get some extra gems so that you can spend those on the Interstellar Visitor. Now, there's other items that you can earn in here. So there's a day for chips, there's a day for AC/DC shards, which is really important for your account. So definitely worth mentioning here. I know we're focusing primarily on gem acquisition, but being able to get AC/DC shards from this game mode is incredibly important for early accounts. And then obviously you can get biostimulators and XP as well, but you definitely don't want to skimp on your combat cycle. And this is really going to be tied to how well you're growing your account and which characters you're able to acquire. Now, I know I said that each day of combat cycle is going to require different characters, but typically if you farm the right characters, and you can take a look at our new March global launch tier list and see which ones you should be focusing on or trying to build up. But there's definitely some characters in the S tier, the A plus tier, and the A tier that are fairly easy to get and to start putting a few stars on. And those characters are definitely going to help you in all of the combat cycle days. So you kind of basically you're going to be building a core of maybe 2 or 3 characters or champions, and then each game mode might require one different person that you would insert or 2 different people that you would insert. So again, be on the lookout for some of those guys that are coming. I know they are very highly demanded, so we'll work on getting that for you soon. The next way that you're going to earn a significant amount of gems, at least when you first start the mode, is going to be Darkest Timeline. So this is one of my favorite modes in the game, if not my favorite mode in the game, and it's really one of the best ways to earn resources for free-to-play players. So we'll talk about a few different things, and my weekly attempts are out right now, so I can't hit start and show you this, but basically there are 5 difficulty tiers for Darkest Timeline. I've got a video on just the basics for Darkest Timeline, and in that video I take you on a couple of runs so you can get a sense for how the game mode works. But you have 5 different difficulty tiers, and in the first clear of each difficulty tier, you're going to get some gems, some World Anvil fragments. You'll get a chance at some of these custom Mythic Champion shards and some other items, AC/DC shards and ACN tokens. So this, again, those, I mean, right here on the screen, you're seeing the 5 most important resources in the game outside of your biostems and probably the magic eyes, which are the rarest item in the game. So this is definitely an event that you want to be clearing every week. You have 5 attempts. The first few times you're probably going to maybe get discouraged and feel like luck is just not on your side, but there is a definitely a skill ceiling, or I should say a skill floor to this game, where you have to learn what, like, the best selections and the best characters to push forward, and kind of, you know, it's definitely very nuanced. Like every time you play it, it's going to be a little different. It's a roguelike event, so you definitely want to learn how to play this. You can see here in your rewards track that you're going to get a lot of these items that I mentioned. You're not going to be getting gems in the rewards track, but you are going to be getting a lot of these other resources. And then of course you've got your missions here that are just going to help you push to your weekly XP limit in the timeline journal. Okay, and then one last way that you're going to be able to earn gems is the ace in the hole. So as you complete some of the missions, you're going to unlock some of these, they call them aces, but basically the different tag synergies. So as you play with these tag synergies, you're going to unlock these 10 gem rewards for each one of these. So again, small iterative rewards, but they're all going to play a part in pushing your account forward. And I know this isn't gems, but before we leave the SON, obviously honorable mention for Anti-Crime Network, because this is an economy video and you will be able to earn several resources here. Obviously my recommendation has always been to go for biostems, especially for new players and players who don't plan to spend a lot. You know, if you're not going to be getting your Monitor's Legacy path on a monthly basis, you want to be focusing on those biostems over everything else. And then you can, once you get to it, there's a critical mass where you hit about War Room level 25 to 27, where you can start focusing on your alloys and some of the other items. But unfortunately, you want to make sure that you're getting those characters at the highest level. So honorable mention on that for the economy. And the last sort of gem revenue, I guess there's a couple more gem revenue items. So one quick one is, and I don't know if, yeah, so clicking these little ellipses It's kind of annoying for a lot of people, but they have like a little side conversations that you can have with the people in the base. And we're going to expand our greenhouse because we love Poison Ivy's tomatoes. That's a reference to one of the ads that they're running right now for the game. Anyway, you get a very small amount of rewards. This is actually a pretty nice one. Typically you get much less than this. But what I've been told is if you click enough of those ellipses, you'll start getting an exclamation point above some of the characters. And if you click that, you're going to get, I think, 10 or 20 gems each time that happens. We think it's a limited event where you're only going to get that maybe once or twice a day, if that. But definitely don't skimp on that if you have the time. Obviously, it's kind of a low-level thing to sit in your base and just wait for those to appear. But when they do pop up, click on them. It only takes a couple extra seconds to push through it, and you're going to get some extra rewards. We don't think that you're going to be able to get those rewards from up here from talking to your shelter citizens, but you also do get some low tier rewards for talking to them as well. You can see that was only 400 chips, but it's a nice little way to interact with your game if you're bored. And lastly, let's talk about strategic challenge. So 3v3. I've definitely spent a little bit of time on this game mode in the last few videos that I've made. I think I've definitely been enjoying it. You can see that I have somehow miraculously made it to expert level. So I'm one rung away from the top tier, and I don't think I'm going to get here. This is the top, let's see, top 41 players in the entire game. So across all, I think we're up to server 205 right now. So across all servers, this is the top players in the game. And these are all, if you're in this tier, you're either a whale or you're someone who has been playing since probably November or early December, and you've put a lot of time and effort into the game. So kudos to you if you got here. But you can see that if you get to the very top tiers, you're going to be able to earn magic eyes. And again, this is one of the few ways to earn magic eyes in the game. It's the rarest material in the game, and you definitely want to, especially if you're a spender, you want to focus on this mode and make sure that you're pushing as high as you can get. But I think even for free-to-play players and light spenders, this is going to be a fantastic way for you to earn resources for your account. So let's back out and I can show you a couple of those things. So this is definitely kind of a hybrid between, say, Meta Brawl and maybe Checkpoint Crisis, where you don't get the opportunity to control your characters, but you can watch the fight, which I think is at least something. And as a reward for your efforts, each time you go up in a tier, we can go to the first rung, which is Novice, and you can see that every time you obtain enough stars to move up to a new rank, so Novice 1, Novice 2, Novice 3, you're going to get a one-time reward for that sub-tier, and you end up getting 10 gems and 100 Meta Brawl tokens for the, I think it's most of these tiers. But the most important part here is when you get to the end, so when you get to, say, Novice 10, you're going to get a few extra rewards. So you're actually going to get you get 5 World Anvil fragments, you're going to get 5 ACDC shards. So very important to try to push to the end of that tier. Obviously, you know, with newer accounts, it may be difficult to get past the Novice tier or, say, the Warrior tier. But for each one of these tiers, you're going to be getting a significant amount of rewards. So it's definitely very important for you to try to push as hard as you can in this game mode to be able to get those. I was able to clear through 3 of the tiers. Haven't tried to push an expert, but I'm really running out of time at this point to push much further than I am right now. The other thing, and this is similar to Meta Brawl, it's actually this exact same icon. You're going to, for your daily challenges, just for attempting to spend each one of your tickets, you're going to be getting some additional resources. So you'll get your 25 gems and you'll get your 250 Meta Brawl tokens. So definitely another important way to make sure that you're maximizing your daily gem acquisition. I mean, just between this mode and Meta Brawl, just for trying it and losing, you're going to be getting 50 gems right there. And then obviously for your Meta Brawl, you get the additional 50. We could probably add this up, and maybe I'll probably make a follow-up video where I try to calculate some of these things to see what like your total maximum gem acquisition could look like as a free-to-play player or a light spender. And one thing that I will note here, kind of a quick tip, is if you click the plus sign here, you're going to be you get 3 tickets a day for free, and then technically you get a 4th for free here, and then you're able to buy a couple of additional tickets for 10 gems, and then a couple additional tickets for 50 gems. I haven't tried to go higher than 50 because I think at that point it's sort of a waste unless you're a whale and you're trying to push through the ranks. But for me, I think, you know, it's pretty nice to be able to get your 4 free attempts. You can pay for 2 for 20 gems, and you're being given 25 free gems a day basically to do this event. So even if you buy both of those, you're getting 5 gems total, plus any of the rewards from the tiers that you're able to push. So just a little bit of a quick tip there. Okay, so we've covered gem acquisition or gem revenue, and I think that's the most important part of the video. But the next thing I want to do is jump into the daily and weekly stores. If you want to be efficient, if you want to be able to spend on Interstellar Visitor each week, which you need to be doing, and if you want to make sure that your account is pushing forward the most efficient way possible, you have to skip most of the items in these stores. What you want to do, and this might be difficult the first day you're playing the game, but eventually you're going to have 342 million in cash sitting around, which is nice. You want to be buying every cash reward in the store. So we'll go ahead and do that now while we're talking. You can see that you end up getting some blue mother box keys for cash, and in some cases you also get, so that's our free, you always get 1 free reward and it kind of rotates. Sometimes you get AC/DC shards for a very small amount of cash, so definitely buy those as well. The other things, there's a few things to note about the mystery store. So we've done all of our cash acquisitions. The next most important thing is world anvil fragments. So, and Unstable's mentioned this in a couple of his videos as well, and several people pointed it out, but most days you're going to have the option, you'll have the ability to buy 1 anvil for 60 gems or 3 anvils for 323 gems. Now, you can do the math on all this, but the 60 gem anvil is 200% discount. So it is kind of really, I think, the staple or the baseline for what you should be doing in terms of acquiring anvils. So I say most days you should be able to obtain the 60 gem anvil without worrying about not being able to hit that 3,000 gem cap for your Interstellar Visitor. Almost all days of the week, you should not be buying this 3 for 23 or 3 for 323, because if you keep doing that, you're going to run out of gems. And I mean, you can do the math on this. 7 days of buying the 3 anvil deal here is going to be 21 anvils, and that's going to cost you over 2,200 gems. So if you do that, you're going to hamstring yourself from being able to participate in the Interstellar Visitor, and in that mode, you're able to purchase 40 anvils for 3,000 gems. So it's definitely a slightly better deal, and you should, again, be able to continue purchasing the 1 anvil at a time. Now, you'll know your account better than anyone else. So if you're a free-to-play player and you're able to generate more gems than the 3,000, then do a couple of these 3 anvil packs. But it's kind of a last-ditch effort, or it's the last thing that you would want to spend on if you can avoid it. The other thing is, especially if you're able to save efficiently with your gems, anything that's 333% discount is okay to buy if you have the additional gems sitting around. And in particular, I would say these gold mother boxes, the blue mother boxes, and the purple mother boxes are safe to purchase at the 333% range. You want to be purchasing those sparingly if you want to hit that 3,000 gems for Interstellar Visitor. Essentially, I mean, I know I keep harping on this, but essentially you want to try to always have 3,000 gems sitting in reserve, and then you're able to do some of these things without having to worry about whether you'll have enough. So to recap for Mystery Store, you want to buy anything with cash. You want to buy your 200% anvils, and then you want to buy your 333% mother boxes if you have the funds for that. The only other thing that I will say that is worth buying is sometimes they will do a 3 for 180 gem pack for the world anvils. You can buy that because it's at that 200% discount rate. The next store is going to be the League store, and there are 2 things that I think you should look out for here, maybe 3. The first thing that you're safe to buy here is going to be your anvils. The second thing, and I would say the most important thing to buy here, so if you only buy one thing here, buy the quantum components. And you want to do that because it's very important to try to max out your ships as quickly as possible. Once you acquire you get one free jet that's actually purchasable in the League store. It doesn't show up for me anymore because I already own it, but you'll be able to buy that ship for fairly cheap, and then you can start pumping these quantum components into it to build it up. And then, because the only other way to get quantum components is through the Umbral Rift, and that mode comes around every couple of days. Sometimes it's difficult for you to join it, so you may be missing out on those. You can at least buy them here in the League store. The third thing is Flash and Shazam shards. And I would caution you that especially if you don't have a lot of League tokens, you want to focus on those quantum components first, then World Anvil fragments, and then shards of a character. And really, you want to try to avoid buying these shards unless you know you're going to be building a specific team. For example, I would recommend that you don't buy these shards unless you're trying to build Superman, in particular Flash, because he's a character that really relies heavily on being able to pump damage and attack into another kind of marquee character that you're building your team around. The next store is Meta Brawl store. You can see that I did buy a couple of resources out of here. Typically, my recommendation for Meta Brawl store is that you focus first on Raven or Bane if you're trying to build a specific team. So if you know you're going to be building Justice League Dark, then you're allowed to buy the Raven shards here. If you're focusing on Arkham's Most Wanted, then I think Bane would be a reasonable choice to spend some of your Meta Brawl tokens on. But I would say primarily the thing that you're going to be saving and spending on here is going to be, you can buy the mother boxes, and then depending on what you're lacking in your account, like if you're trying to, let's say, do some research and you're out of chips, then you can buy the chips here. That's what I did. Or if you're trying to upgrade a champion and you need a few extra biosims, you can buy those here. They're pretty cheap. Don't worry about the gear. Don't buy any of the gear. It's not really worth it for you. Okay, so that's it for the kind of basic daily and weekly stores. We also have two other items here in the store area, and that's the House of Secrets, which right now all they have in here is the legacy pieces for the Mythic Plus champions, so the ones that are found in the bleed. You can buy Superman's cape here. You can buy, we've got Harley's hammer. We have Joker's scepter and several others in here, Sinestro's ring, Zatanna's scepter. So these are the most important or the best legacy pieces that you can have in the game, and they're certainly the ones you want to equip to these Mythic Plus champions, but they're purchasable only by Magic Eyes. I've been playing this current account that I'm on, and granted, I probably missed a few rewards here and there. I'm not playing like super locked in every single day, but I have 155 Magic Eyes after playing the game for roughly 2 months, and I've been pushing pretty hard, I would say, in Supreme Commander most weeks. So there's probably a few people who have already hit the 200 cap to be able to buy one of these, but I just want to give you a sense for what you can expect in your account. It's going to be very difficult to get one of these. You want to make sure that you get the one for the character that you probably want to spend the most time on in the future in the game, because this is just going to unlock this legacy piece at 0 stars, and then you'll have to earn additional Magic Eyes to be able to upgrade these over time. The last item is Worldline. So once you have a couple of characters, legendaries or mythics, Mythic Plus, or legacy pieces, and that's any of the legacy pieces. Once you have them fully maxed out at 5 red stars, you're going to start getting some of these Worldline particles, and these particles can be used to purchase Magic Eyes or Anvils in the shop here. I would say the best use for them is to purchase the Magic Eyes. I've just been saving mine, and I only have 231 right now, but if you need to get Anvils, I suppose you could here. I just think the most efficient use is to get these Magic Eyes because they're so rare. Okay, so the next thing that I want to talk about is Interstellar Visitor. I've already mentioned it a little bit, and unfortunately it's not going to be showing up right now, but basically for Interstellar Visitor, and I actually think I have one of my first videos was talking about Interstellar Visitor, so definitely go back and watch that. But essentially, you're going to be saving all these gems throughout the week, doing your Supreme Commander, trying to accumulate as much as you can. You're going to have a few packs that are important in Interstellar Visitor. The first one is for 2,500 gems, you can obtain 30 World Anvil fragments. You need to buy that one first. The second thing is going to be for 500 gems, you can get 10 World Anvil fragments. So if you can't get the full 3,000 gems that we were talking about, at a bare minimum, you need to have 500 gems, or really I should say 400 gems saved up when Interstellar Visitor hits, because then you can get that 10 anvil fragment at a minimum. And the reason why I say 400 is the Interstellar Visitor event will give you 100 gems for free. Keep that in mind. Again, 2,900 to 3,000 range is where you want to be shooting so that you can do that. And there are a few other packs in there, especially for whales. You can buy magic eyes. You know, for light spenders, you can buy some of the mother box packs. There's one in there, I think, for 300. You get 5 purple mother boxes. For 1,500, you get around 10 to 15. So definitely some other good deals in there, but those are going to be reserved for people who are spending money on the game. Don't get fooled by thinking some of those lower value or like smaller gem packs in there are worth buying. You really want to focus on just those World Anvil fragments so that you have enough money or gems for the next week. Okay, so it's time for a little bit of whale or fail. When I play these games, I get really excited about looking at the packs and trying to determine their value. Whether I'm going to spend on them or not, I think it's just a fun exercise to go in and try to figure out kind of what the game economy is worth. So like what each individual item is worth. And then you can kind of extrapolate that out and calculate whether a pack is a good deal or not based on what the company values the packs at. So I've started doing some preliminary analysis. I don't have a lot of information on some of these right now, but we do know that there are a few things that are going to bring you a ton of value for your account. So obviously, if you're free to play, this section probably isn't going to apply to you that much. The first thing, though, that I want to talk about is something that even if you're hoping to play the game free to play, if you have the ability to spend just a little bit, you should definitely buy the second construction queue. This is incredibly important for early accounts. For any account who's under War Room level 30 right now, you are not going to regret buying the second construction queue. It is only $2 USD, so it should be fairly affordable regardless of what your conversion rate is. Get this second construction queue. You will not be disappointed. While we're here, I don't know that this super monthly pass is going to be worth it for most players, for most light spenders. I think it's obviously a given for whales, and it's a given for anybody who's spending a considerable amount of money monthly on the game. It's not something that I'm interested in. I do think it's nice to get that 4th squad slot for competitive PvP in the higher ranks, and to get that extra intel point cap so that if you aren't able to log in for a decent amount of time, you're not going to cap out on your intel points. But it's a decent value. I just don't know that I would say it's the best use of your money if you're only spending a few dollars a month. But definitely second construction queue. And the second thing, I would say the second most important pack to consider if you are a light spender is going to be over here in the legacy. And if you click on Empower Legacy, there are 2 packs. So there's the premium pack, which is typically $9.99 US, so $10 US. And then there's the Empowered Legacy, which is $20 US. Now, if you purchase the premium pack, the price is going to change for the Empowered. But the only thing that you're getting in addition to the premium pack for buying the Empowered is going to be an additional 300 gems, an additional 5 World Anvil fragments, and then your approval level. So like your legacy level is going to start at 10 instead of starting at 1. If you're more than a light spender, it's definitely worth getting this just so that you can kickstart your rewards each month. But I think for most light spenders, the $10 pack is going to get you more than enough. You're going to be getting the legacy piece supply at some point down the road. You're going to be getting, an additional 600 gems, some more World Anvil fragments. You're going to get a lot of AC/DC shards, and you're going to get a ton of ACN tokens. And that's going to allow you to basically catch up your account with biostimulators, chips, alloys, XP if you need it. But it's really, really nice to get those rewards. Like, I mean, it's I don't know what they would value this pack at. They typically have the percentages up here, but it's got to be like a 20x, 10 or 20x for your account, because, you know, I mean, if you just scroll through here, you can see, like, even on the first rung, you're getting one World Anvil fragment for completing without spending any money. If you spend the $10, just the first thing you're going to get 2 extra World Anvil fragments. You're going to get 60 gems. So it is an incredible value to get this one. Next couple of things that I will mention. One of them I don't have here because I did purchase it, but it's called growth funds. And for growth funds, you're going to get a considerable amount of gems if you purchase that. It's a $10 one-time purchase. And that's one that as you level up your account, you get, you know, to around War Room level 20 or so, you're going to continue to generate gems. Or if you're already at level 20, you could just purchase it and you get everything all at once. But it is a nice value. There's another pack like that. It's called the Power Buildup. And, you know, it's nice. You're going to get some free rewards for your growth funds or the Power Buildup. But to purchase, you're going to get these additional items. I personally didn't see the value in purchasing this one because, yeah, you're getting 2,000 biostems and you're getting a decent amount of gems, but just buying that Monitor's Legacy $10 pack, you're going to get plenty of biostems. And it really just, to me, isn't worth it to get this unless you're a whale or a heavy spender. Okay, now we've talked about the light spender packs. There's a couple of other things that I would say would apply to light spenders as well, so we can talk about those. The first one is Batman, the Batman starter. Now, you're going to be able to unlock Batman at kind of day one of your account by spending, I think it's $1.50 or maybe $2. And then after that, you'll be able to get 15 shards at a time. It'll probably go up from here at some point. I just don't want to spend to find out. But for $5, you get 15 shards. It's actually a really good value. You're also going to be getting some gems and a few other resources for the account as well. So it's definitely worth spending on these if you're wanting to build up a Batman for your account, at least to get into 5 white stars. After that, if you're a light spender, I would question whether you should move forward. But you can definitely purchase Batman all the way up to red stars if you so choose. The other thing is the daily deals, and daily deals are nice for a light spender as well. If you think about it, and you can actually switch this out. So there's multiple different characters you can choose from. A lot of the 10 shard mythics are in here, some of the better ones, or at least a couple of the better ones, and I'll talk about those. I've probably mentioned them in previous videos too. But Harley Quinn is, I think, one of the better champions to choose out of here because you're going to get her with your 7-day starter pack. You're also going to potentially be able to choose her with your global launch rewards. And so that's going to put you at a 3 white star Harley. And then you can come in and make one purchase here, 1 or 2 purchases here in the daily deal store, and you're going to be able to get her up to 5 white stars. So that's really nice for someone who's just kind of wanting to spend a little bit and try to get their account pushing forward fairly fast. And again, you're going to be getting some gems from these packs as well. So we can talk about that in the next segment, though probably, I guess, the last segment of the video as well. But these are definitely a pretty solid value. You know, one of the things that frustrated me when the game first pushed out in soft launch is there really weren't a lot of ways to obtain champion shards in the game. Unfortunately, they've added a lot where you can buy those shards, but at least there is a way for people who are willing to spend even a small amount to try to get their champions built up a little bit and get those skills unlocked. So it's kind of like, I guess my view is, you know, having a guaranteed way to obtain shards for characters is good for a game like this, because then you're not just having to rely on gambling mechanics through the bleed and the mother boxes to obtain a champion. And it just makes you feel a little bit better about your account progress when you're getting champions that you actually want to play with or use. And I'll just mention, you know, while we're here, a lot of these champions are not worth purchasing here. You know, you can get Flash and Shazam for free through grinding and purchasing those with your league tokens. Canary is not worth building at all. you could argue Robin might be worth getting here if you're wanting to build Bat Family, especially once Nightwing is in the game down the road. Batgirl, same thing there. She has some utility. You can see where we have her ranked on the tier list. You know, she has the ability to amp crit damage, which is fairly helpful. But I think the two, in my mind, two of the most important characters outside of Harley to get here for early game players are going to be Ivy and Lex Luthor, depending on what you're trying to build. And a couple of honorable mentions here are going to be Dr. Fate and Bane. So, you know, like it's nice that they've included a few of these characters because it allows you to sort of choose one of several paths that you can take with your account. So if you couple this with, there's a new bleed right now where you can obtain Superman, Zatanna, Sinestro, or Joker. So you can kind of choose, do you want to build a Justice League Dark, Legion of Doom, or Arkham's Most Wanted team? And or maybe you do like a hybrid of both. So you could do like a Justice League Dark Justice League, or Legion of Doom, Arkham's Most Wanted. And those archetypes, it's going to be helpful to have, you know, one or two of the staple legendaries and then one or two of the staple mythic characters, so that you can build your account a little bit better because you can get guaranteed shards of these. So, you know, if you want to build like a Legion of Doom, Arkham's Most Wanted archetype, you could, you know, try to hopefully build up your Joker or your Sinestro out of the bleed, and then you can throw in Bane and Ivy for that Arkham 3-tag bonus. You can build up your Lex Luthor so you can start getting the Legion of Doom. Maybe you pull Scarecrow at some point down the road. So a lot of options there. And then obviously you have your Dr. Fate here. So you have the ability to purchase Raven out of the Meta Brawl store. You can get Dr. Fate here as a light spender. You can get him up to, you know, 5 white stars or so. And then you'll be able to pull your Zatanna and Constantine. And of course you already have Wonder Woman to round that team out. So, you know, again, there's multiple options here that are going to help you as a light spender with bolstering your account without having to break the bank. You can purchase this on a daily basis. You know, I would recommend maybe you purchase a couple of times to get those characters close to that, you know, 3 to 5 white star range, and then quit unless you're planning on whaling on these characters. The last thing that I want to cover here is the Harvest Chest, and most of these packs I would not recommend unless you are a whale and just need a bunch of resources, but we can start at the bottom. I don't really think that the Intel Vault is worth it at all. I mean, just look at this, $5 for 3 ACN tokens. If you spend $10 over the course of a month of playing the game, really even less than that, you're going to earn passively 60 ACN tokens. So in addition to all the other resources you're going to get, this is definitely a fail. Nature's Heirloom, for $5, you're going to be getting obviously the 300 gems, and then you're going to get the 800,000 biostems. But I still don't think this is really that great of a deal for most players. Again, you're going to be getting all those ACN tokens from your $10 legacy empowerment. So would not recommend this pack. Airborne Assistant, definitely would not recommend this pack. I mean, you can get like 180 drones for like less than 200 gems in the mystery store if you really wanted to buy them, but definitely not worth getting this. Mother Box's Favor. This one is debatable, especially since you are getting the 300 gems in the pack. I do think it's probably at least kind of a break even, you know, if you're really just wanting to cycle through Mother Boxes and get some extra rewards. But I would also steer clear of this one unless you are a whale or unless you are willing to dump a little bit more money in the game. Now, the Champion Assembly is an intriguing pack. I think it is definitely worth it, especially the first couple of rungs of this, for light spenders to get some additional World Anvil fragments. You know, you're getting basically each World Anvil fragment is 50 cents, and I think that's slightly above average for what you're paying there, and you're getting those 300 gems on top of it. So This is definitely a pack that's worth buying for any spender level. Light spenders, the first few rungs of it, but I know for heavy spenders, you can go up to it. The pack gets more expensive each time and you get more resources. I think you can spend upwards of $100 on the last few rungs, and it does reset every 7 days, I believe. So Harvest Chest Champions Assembly is a very good one there. And I should mention here, you can definitely buy these gem packs. I think you're not really getting much value at all here. It's very similar to any other game like this, where the more gems that you buy, the better deal you're going to get. You're going to get a few extra gems by purchasing some of these higher level ones. But it's really like, if you buy these, you're just buying kind of the break even amount of gems, like just to kind of transfer it into the game. So I would steer clear of these unless you are planning on spending a considerable amount on the game over time. It might be worth having just a few extra gems on hand for stuff like Interstellar Visitor, but just wanted to mention that is available. So that covers all of the whale or fail or kind of store purchases. And the last thing I want to mention is really more of a whale thing, but I just want to let you know that it does exist, and that is called, it's an event called Source Gem Pact. So if we go over here and look at it, you can see that I have spent a little bit on the game, and I started doing that a couple of weeks ago when the web store finally opened up, and I'm getting really close to my second set of 10 Green Lantern shards. I'm probably going to be slowing down considerably on spending going forward. I won't be spending too much each month, but I did want to get the T-Jet unlocked, and you can see that that's in Target 4. It cost a few $100s to get to this point. So, this is basically, I think the best way to describe it, I think Tyvoka may have used this and some others, but it's a VIP system. So you're not paying directly for these rewards, but the more money you spend on the game, the more places that you're buying packs that have gems in them, you will be earning points towards this. Now, the annoying thing here is that each tier starts you over from scratch. So instead of having spent, like for Target 5 here, instead of having spent 6,000 gems total, or I guess bought packs that have 6,000 gems total in them, it's a new 6,000. So the prior Target 4, I forget exactly how many was in there. Maybe it was 2, 3, 4,000 gems, but you had to buy enough packs to get to that point. And then when you get to the next level, it resets. So you got to spend 6,000 at this level. The next level is probably going to be 7,000 or 8,000, and then it'll just go up. So this, it costs around $200 or $300 to get Green Lantern unlocked at around 3 white stars and get the T-Jet unlocked. After that, you're going to be spending an astronomical amount of money just to get Green Lantern shards, essentially, and maybe some World Anvil fragments. So there's not a lot of data on spend for this. I've spoken to a few people privately who have shared their numbers with me, and I definitely don't want to get too much into that, but they've spent thousands of dollars on the game, and they're in kind of the teens. So they're in the kind of like 12 to 18 range right now, and they're not even close to getting to Target 20, which is where the Superman's Kryptonian rocket is. I think easily you'd have to spend $15,000 to $20,000 to get there. So it's definitely a hyper whale activity. But I just wanted to kind of point out what you're up against here with the Source Gem Pack. And again, like, I don't have any problem with this. It's clearly just meant to help, or I guess give incentive for whales to spend. But it's very unfortunate that they chose Green Lantern as the character here, because like, people are going to be spending on, or people are going to be choosing Green Lantern with their pick for the global launch rewards, not realizing that they have no way to get Green Lantern shards unless they spend massive amounts of money on the game. So kind of a poor choice, I would say, for that global launch reward because of the way they've done this. And I really hope that over time they take Green Lantern out of this paywall and make it where we can obtain him without having to spend money. It's really kind of a poor business move, in my opinion. But I digress. Well, that is all. If you have made it this far, I commend you, because this one was definitely the longest video in this series, but I really wanted to go deep dive into all of the economy, all the aspects of the economy, and provide you with as much value as I possibly can. And I'm hoping that this video will have some staying power in terms of people being able to come back and reference it, or for people who are just trying to kind of learn and get started. So hope it was helpful. I'm definitely interested in hearing your thoughts on the game's economy and the state of the economy right now in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on Discord, or I will see you in my next video.